Hi everyone. Algebra 2, 3-3 complex numbers. These are the topics we're going to cover. Here are standards. Imaginary number, complex number. Okay, first question. Simplify square root of minus 28. So, first thing I want you to do is take out minus inside the root. So one thing you need to know on this chapter is I is imaginary number.
Email me about a question about specific.
I is imaginary number, which is same as square root of minus 1. If you square both sides, I square equal to minus 1. So these two, you need to memorize it for this chapter. I is equal to square root minus 1, I square equal to minus 1. So, knowing that, you can express that as square root of minus 1 times square root of 28. That's the same as this. And square root of minus 1 is what? I. So you can write that as I square root of 28. So you can kind of consider that as minus inside the root, take it out, and it becomes I outside. 28, you have to make it simplified. 4 times 7 is 28. 4, you can go further. 2 times 2. You are dealing with the leaves. Since it's a square root, you need a pair to take a number out. So 7 is a leaf here, and he doesn't have any pair. What does that mean? Pair pops outside of the root, and no pair stay inside. Usually you put number first and I next. Don't write I2, you write 2I square root of 7. That is your final answer. Okay, so you should pause the video. Try it. First thing I need you to do is deal with the minus inside the root. So you can express that as square root of minus 1 times square root of 32. Square root of minus 1 is I. And 32, you have to deal with the square root of 32. So what? 4 times 8 makes 32. You can go 4 with the further. 8, you can go 4 times 2. You can go with the further with the 4, you can go with the further with the 4, but I already found the pair. So you can go further, but I'd rather just pair up right here. Leftover is a 2. So 4 pops out, I. Leftover inside the root is 2. Final answer. Please pause the video. You try. You got this? Fantastic. Pause the video. Please try. You got this? Very good. Next step. Simplify minus 3i times 2i. Multiply between the numbers. Minus 3 times 2 is minus 6. I times I is I squared. Do you remember? One of the things I asked to memorize. I is square root minus 1 is 1. I square equal to minus 1. Two things I ask you to memorize. I square equal to minus 1. So I square is equal to minus 1 times minus 6. Final answer becomes 6. Pause the video. You try. Okay, 3 times 5 makes a 15. I times I makes I square. Excuse me. I square is minus 1. So 15 times minus 1 makes minus 15. Okay, simplify. Square root of minus 12 times square root of minus 2. Deal with the minus inside the root first. Take it out as I. Deal with the minus inside the root first. Take it out as I. So I times I makes I square. Root 12 times root 2 is square root of 24. Okay? So square root of 24 here, you can do what? 4 times 6. 6 you can go 2 times 3. 4 you can go 2 times 2. Leaves. You got pair here. It doesn't have a pair. It doesn't have a pair. So 2 pops out of the root. And 2 times 3 is 6. I square is equal to what? Same as minus 1. So you will have to do minus 1 times 2 square root of 6, which becomes minus 2 square root of 6. Final answer. Please pause the video. You try. Here's my work. I took minus 1 out from the root as I. Same thing as I. I times I is I square. Square root of 12, 3 and 4, 2 and 2. 2 are pairs. So 2 comes out, 3 stays inside. I square is minus 1. Solve 5y squared plus 20 equal to 0. Minus 20 both sides. Divide by 5 both sides. Y squared equal to 4. Okay, y squared equal to 4. Minus 4, I mean. Minus. Square is minus 4, so you know it's not a real number. Time to get rid of square. Take a square root both sides. Very popular mistake here, not attaching minus here. Please don't forget. Whenever you take a square root both sides, you need to attach plus minus. So minus inside the root, take it out as I. Square root of 4 is 2. Okay, so final answer should be plus minus 2i. Please pause the video. You try. Here's my work. Minus 50 both sides. Divide by 2, divide by 2. X squared equal to minus 25. Right then you should know answer is not going to be a real number. Take a square root both sides. Don't forget minus. Minus inside the root. Take it out as I. Square root of 25 is 5. Final answer. Complex numbers. Complex number is any number that can be written in the form of a plus bi, where a and b are real numbers, I is imaginary unit. A is called the real part, and b is called the imaginary part. So 5 plus 2i is a complex number. 5 is a complex number. 2i is also a complex number. Okay? Because this case is the same as 5 plus 0i. This is same as 0 plus 2i. So you can have only imaginary number part. You can have only a real number part. You can have both parts. All of them are called complex numbers. Find the values of x and y that make the equation true. Very simple. 2x plus yi. Okay, what's the key? I. He doesn't have I. He does have I. Equal to minus 14 minus 3i. I is the key. I. Why? I has to equal to I. Okay? What am I saying? Yi plus yi has to equal to minus 3i. I portion has to equal to I portion. So if you divide by I both sides, it becomes y equal to minus 3. That's the answer. no I part, they should equal to each other. 2x should equal to minus 14. So for x divided by 2 divided by 2. Okay, so these are the answers. Please pause the video and try. Okay, if you got this, fantastic. Again, key point is I. I has to equal to I. So minus yi should equal to plus 2i. Divided by I both sides, minus y equal to 2. You want to solve for y. So divide by minus 1, divide by minus 1, y equal to minus 2. Now, no I should equal to each other. So it should be 3x equal to 15 divided by 3, both sides. Okay. Oh. Simplify this plus this. Very straightforward. Look at first parenthesis. There's nothing in front of it. What does that mean? You're distributing 1. Distributing 1 doesn't do much. You just rewrite without parentheses. Second parenthesis. There's nothing in front of parentheses, meaning 1 is hiding. Distributing 1 doesn't do much. So rewrite everything without parentheses. Yes, I. Yes, I. No, I. So 3 plus 2 makes what? 5. Yes, I. 5 minus 4 makes plus 1i. 1 you don't have to write. Please pause the video, you try. Okay, nothing in front of parentheses, nothing in front of parentheses. So you can rewrite them without parentheses. Yes, I. Yes, I. No, I. So 2 plus 3 makes a 5. 6 plus 4 makes a 10. Exactly same, but subtraction. Okay, it can be a little confusing. Why? First parenthesis has a nothing in front of it, which means you're distributing by 1. Distributing by 1 doesn't do much. Just rewrite without parentheses. Second parenthesis has minus in front of it. That's troublemaker. Minus is same as minus 1. So you're distributing minus 1. You're distributing minus 1. So it becomes minus 3 plus 7i. I do lose some of you on this. You don't distribute minus and you make a mistake. Be careful. Yes, I. Yes, I. No, I. So 4 minus 3 makes a 1. Yes, I. Yes, I. Minus 6 plus 7 plus 1. 1 you don't have to write. 1i is the same as I. Please pause the video. Try this. Okay. There's nothing in front of parentheses, meaning distributing by 1 doesn't do much. That's minus 1. Minus 1. Distribute. That will change the sign. Be careful. Yes, I. Yes, I. 2 minus 5 is minus 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. Oh, that was a work there. Okay. When the question asks you to simplify a fraction like this, what they meant is get rid of I from the denominator. That's what they meant. So when they ask you simplify, what do they mean by simplify? Get rid of I from denominator. That's what they meant. What do you do? How do you get rid of I from denominator? You multiply by 1. You multiply by 1 such that 1 is expressed complex conjugate of denominator. over complex conjugate of denominator. So you might say, what is a complex conjugate? Complex number, change sign of I. So 3 plus 2i, complex conjugate of that is 3 minus 2i. So you're multiplying by 1, but 1 such that 3 minus 2i all over 3 minus 2i. So one thing you have to be careful here is this move. You might say, why are we doing this? Well, just hold on that question. So once you multiply by this complex conjugate, numerator, you're distributing. So basically you have this multiplying. So 5i times 3 is 15i. 5i times minus 2i is minus 10i squared. Denominator, you're foiling. Okay? So if you multiply 3 times 3, that's a 9. If you multiply plus 2i times minus 2i, that's a 2 times minus 2 is minus 4. I times I is I squared. Be careful, you are foiling it. So there are more terms than this. You have to FOIL like this, and you have to FOIL like this. You have a 4 terms. Okay? 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times minus 2i is minus 6i. Plus 2i times 3i is plus 6i. Plus 2i times minus 2i is minus 4i squared. But take a look at inside the terms here. Minus 6i plus 6i, they cancel out each other. That's why we only have 9 minus 4i squared. Or if you remember the formula, a plus b times a minus b formula, that's a squared minus b squared. It can be very handy. A plus b, a minus b is a squared, 3 squared, minus b squared, which is 2i squared, which is 4i squared. So either you use a formula or you distribute that out. Either way, you get 9 minus 4i squared as a denominator. Okay, do you remember I squared is equal to minus 1? That's minus 10 times minus 1, which is positive 10. Same thing here. I squared equal to minus 1. So minus 4 times minus 1 is plus 4. 9 plus 4 becomes 13. So this is a fantastic answer. If you rewrite that, that's going to be exactly same as 15 over 39, 15 over 39 plus 10 over 13. So that's a fantastic answer. If you split it, that's going to be splitted answer. Either way is a very good answer. Okay. If they want a plus bi form, then you have to split it. You need to write like that. Please pause the video. You try. Okay, so you might say, well, what's the move? Simplify means get rid of I from denominator. You might say, how do I do that? It has a thing to do with the denominator. Complex conjugate is 1 minus I. Multiply by that over that. Okay? So numerator, you're distributing that, you get this. Denominator, you're foiling it. I did foil it here. So middle term, they cancel out each other, you get this. Okay, I squared is equal to minus 1. So I minus 1 times minus 3, so that's how I got plus 3 here. Same thing, I squared here is minus 1, minus minus 1 is positive 1. So this is a fantastic answer. Or you can split into this. Same question. Simplify means get rid of I from denominator. Okay. What's the complex conjugate of denominator? It's a minus 2i. Do you remember complex conjugate means change sign for I part. I change sign. So technically, it will be minus 2i. So you're supposed to multiply by minus 2i over minus 2i. But when you have only monomial, when you have only one term, it's okay to multiply by I over I. You cannot multiply by I over I because we have a 1 plus, we have a binomial here on the denominator. Then you have to do this. When you have a monomial, it's okay to multiply by minus 2i over minus 2i. That's nothing wrong with it. You can do that. Better yet, it's easier if you multiply by just I over I. If you multiply by I over I, so you have a parenthesis here, distributing I. So 5 times I makes a 5i. I times I makes I square. 2i times I is 2i square. I square equal to what? Minus 1. I square equal to minus 1 times 2 minus 2. Fantastic answer. If they ask you to split, you split. So that's going to be same as minus 5 over 2i plus, because well, technically it's minus 1 over minus 2. Minus 1 over minus 2, but double minus becomes a positive. So it becomes 1 over 2 minus 5 over 2i. So if you split, that's this. If you don't split, that's that. Please pause the video. You try. Here's the work. So you were supposed to multiply complex conjugate, which is minus 2i over minus 2i. But since it's just a monomial, one term, it's simpler if you just multiply I over I. So you will have to distribute that. I square makes minus 1. I square makes minus 1. So this is a fantastic answer. If you have to split it, you will have to split that as minus 3 over 2i plus minus 2 over minus 2. That is equal to positive 1. And that is equal to this.